All right. Hi, I'm Ricky from Rev Consultants. I help subcontractors win more tenders at their target profit in 12 weeks or less, even if they're time poor, overwhelmed, and don't know where to start. So if your business is at a point of needing to work with tendering documents, if you're unsure about how the process works, or if you want to learn how to nail your next bid, this is your opportunity to ask me anything. I help with pricing for profit, understanding the documents and the requirements, submitting the confident bid, as well as questions specific to current bids that you're working on. And basically, my goal is to help you make this process as simple and as successful as possible so that you can win those bigger contracts with less stress. I'll be here every week. Jump on, ask a question, DM me anything you want me to cover, as well as any questions through the stream, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. Right, so the topic for this week that I've chosen is a discussion on tender programs. So tender programs, they're not always asked as part of the return, but I'm a firm believer that this is one of the most underrated ways to make your bid stand out, particularly if they're not asked. So why is this? Why is it important to the client? So if you submit one with your bid, basically you're showing the client you've got this capability. You're also showing the client that you've thought out how to build the job. And it's visually showing the client, the lead times you need for procurement, how much time you need to mobilize, how long you need to do the job, or that you're meeting the client requirements. Hi, Martin. How you going? So you're also showing, how many visits you've allowed for, what your prelims are based on, all this information that usually is not coming through the documents in a nice visual way. Why is it important for you, not just the client? It's getting you thinking about how to build the job from contract award to completion. So, if you're doing the program, you're thinking about how you're going to deliver it. You're thinking about the procurement of the materials all the way through to handover. Important when you're pricing, And in fact, with pricing, I'm a firm believer, and I encourage everyone to do this. But if you're creating a program and you're resourcing it at the start of a tender, and you price from it, it becomes a delivery tool, a way that you can kind of move that labor into the delivery, i.e., if you've resourced appropriately and you then meet the program, you're on budget. If you're over the program, you're going to be over budget. So this is how it's kind of tying back into delivery. And importantly, the program is, if the client wants something different to the program that you're submitting, it's triggering a pricing exercise. So, you've allowed one continuous visit. If the client comes back to you and says, I need you to demob for 2 weeks, in the middle of that, you can go back and you can look at the price. So it's quite important in that respect. So in my experience, the tender program, it doesn't need to be anything complex. It can be quite simple. So I'm gonna throw up an example here. All right, I'll get there eventually. Okay, this is a simple program that I've just created on Excel. So quite a simple program, but the important things in this that it's showing, first of all, from contract award here, I'm showing that I've got a 2-week lead time on my materials, my material program procurement. So basically, I'm telling the client, when you give me a contract, 2 weeks until I start. Now, this is important information the client needs to know as well, so they can plan getting you on site as well. The other thing I've split here, I've got 4 different areas. It's a very, very simple high-level program, but I'm showing that I need 3 guys, 2 weeks here in area A. Then I've got 4 guys for a week in area B, 3 guys for a week in area C, 3 guys for a week in, and so on and so on. This is a pricing tool, right? If you price to this, you're building up your labor and your plant from this program. When you deliver the job, if you deliver to this program, you know you're on budget. You're also showing the client, I need 5 weeks to build this job. Important information here. And lastly, a week. I've just got in here a week from completion to hand over to close out those documents and so on and so on. So there's a lot of information in such a simple little program that's both effective for you and the client, information the client wants to use. Now, this is my resource program, but I've just got here a simple one that I'm going to send to the client, and I'll show you what this is going to look like. But it's going to have my colors and give them the information they need without telling them the resources that I plan on using it, just because that might be something you want to keep up your sleeve. But I mean, it's a nice looking document that goes to the client there. Okay, so I mean, in summary, basically, as well as being a document that can make you stand out with your submissions, and in particular, if you're doing something like that and your competitor's not, I mean, it just looks good and it gives the client confidence. It's also a pricing and a cost tracking tool when used properly for you as well. So very, very powerful tool to include with your tenders, even if not requested as part of the submission. Right, that's kind of it that I had for today. I like to keep these nice and short and sweet and punchy. Same time next week, I'll cover another impactful tendering topic. If you want to speak to me about your tendering, I offer a number of free diagnosis calls each month to talk specifically about how you can improve your tendering. So there's a link on my LinkedIn profile to book this. That's it. Thank you, and see you next week. Thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure.